fourth graders. We have been talking about minerals. Today I'm going to go through the book and talk to you a little bit about rocks. Now, the thing about minerals is it's like a pure substance, whereas rocks, minerals are the building blocks of rocks. Minerals give rocks their unique characteristics. Many minerals are very small and hard to see. Scientists can use tools such as a hand lens or a microscope to look closely at rocks to see the minerals they contain. Some rocks are made only of one mineral. The rocky chalk cliffs in the photo are made of a mineral called calcite. Sidewalk chalk used to be made of this mineral. Have you ever seen rock salt spread on icy street? Rock salt is made of a mineral called halite. So that's kind of interesting. These chalk cliffs are made from calcite, and you need a microscope to see the structure of calcite. Isn't that cool? So if you have some sidewalk chalk, that is probably made out of calcite. Most rocks are made from more than one mineral. The rock granite is made mostly of quartz and feldspar. It also contains small amounts of mica and other minerals. These minerals are used to be part of a slushy mixture deep underground. As the mixture hardened, the minerals locked together. They formed hard, solid granite. So this one says, a hand lens helps you to see the minerals in granite. You can tell the minerals apart by their different shapes and colors. So mica is like black, feldspar is like red, and quartz is kind of like the white. So here is the granite. I'm going to show you my countertop. So my countertop is granite. Can you see all the different colors in here? So that is one of the things about minerals. Remember we talked about the properties of minerals? So color. Now I want to talk about types of rocks. So this is what I want you to copy down in your science notebook. So we know that rocks are a mixture of all kinds of different minerals, but we classify them into three basic types, and each type forms in a different way. So the first one, I want you to copy down this word, igneous rock, and I want you to put the definition. Igneous rock forms when melted rock cools and hardens. Deep below the Earth's surface, temperatures are high enough to melt rock. This gooey molten rock is called magma. It is less dense or lighter than the material around it, so it rises towards the surface. Sometimes magma escapes through openings in the Earth's surface called volcanoes. At the surface, magma is called lava. Lava cools rapidly, which makes grains in the rock small and hard to see. So basically, rivers of red-hot lava pour from this Hawaiian volcano. Lava usually hardens quickly, forming a type of igneous rock. So igneous rock is what I want you to put down. It is formed from magma. So it's when the liquid magma hardens at the surface of the earth. So underneath the ground, it's liquid, and when it comes out, it hardens. That is an igneous rock. Here, I'm going to read some more. Most igneous rocks form underground. The magma rises slowly and stops below the surface. Since magma does not come in contact with air or water, it cools and hardens very slowly. During slow cooling, the grains grow large enough to see. An igneous rock granite forms from the slow cooling of magma. It has large grains. Back to the granite, large grains. You can see it. Over millions of years, forces in the earth lift the granite above the surface. Mountains form. The Andes Mountains in South America is made of granite that formed underground. Here's the caption. So here's all these mountains, and they formed from the earth moving like underneath layers of the earth, underneath the crust. And these are formed from granite, and it was where it was magma, but it cooled and hardened slowly, not quickly like it would like lava rock. Granite is different, but it's still an igneous rock. These mountains in Chile are made of igneous rock that forms slowly below the Earth's surface. The Hawaiian Islands are made of igneous rock that formed quickly above the Earth's surface. So basically you have to know that it is from magma that cooled either quickly or slowly. The next rock, and I want you to write this down too, sedimentary rock. So that is another type of rock, and they're formed differently. One way sedimentary rock forms is when small pieces of rock and other materials settle on top of each other and become squeezed together. These pieces, called sediments, build layer upon layer. New layers press down on old layers. Some minerals act like cement and hold the sediments together. That's how sedimentary rock called sandstone forms. The sand might come from deserts, beaches, the bottom of shallow seas. Over millions of years, layers become sandstone. So it says these sand dunes come from layers of sediment. The lower layers are squeezed together by the weight of the upper layers. Minerals between the sand holds it together. So over time, if you just pack on layers, imagine like a layer cake. You layer it and layer it and layer it and layer it, and if you had a ton and ton and ton of blankets on you, it would get heavier and heavier and heavier over time, which cements it together. So the thing I want you to write about sedimentary rocks is it is layers. So it is formed by layers and layers and layers of dirt, sand, all laying on top of each other. Here's some more. What makes layers of sedimentary rock look different from each other? It's often the color. Different amounts of mineral iron in the rock may make it look yellow, orange, red, or black. Sometimes different layers are different kinds of sedimentary rock. Chalk, rock salt, and other kinds of limestone are made of sediments that are different than the sediments in sandstone. So here you go. Over time, wind, water, ice uncover the sandstone. You can see where the separate layers of sediment harden. So that's a type of sedimentary rock. And then here's a different one. Some sandstone in Zion National Park was made from layers of sand that collected at the bottom of a shallow sea that once covered the area. So you have sandstone, you can have limestone, but the thing about sedimentary rock is its layers versus igneous rock. Here's fossil rocks. If some of you like fossils, I have a lot of fossils at school, so we'll have to look at those next time we're at school. Fossils and sedimentary rocks. Did you know you can observe history in rocks? Sedimentary rocks often contain fossils. They give scientists clues to the past. For example, a fossil such as a dinosaur tooth can help scientists tell when the rock was formed. A fossil of a fish on land can show that the land was once covered by water. In a desert, the fossils of a rainforest plant would show the climate that used to be much wetter. So here's kind of a cool thing. A fossil of a huge scallop shell is a clue to scientists that the area was covered by water millions of years ago. That is so cool. Actually, boys and girls, Ohio was an ocean at one time. You can find fossil rocks with shells in Ohio. So here's a buried treasure. Put a layer of sand in a cup. Put a fossil, it's in quotations, so it's not really a fossil, just something. Paper clip in the sand. So you just put a paper clip. Add layers of coffee grounds and salt onto the sand, adding another fossil, which would be like a rubber band, and counters, just like, little bears or whatever. Which layer is the oldest? What would you expect to find the oldest fossils? So the more you dig down, that's the older fossils. So here is an archaeologist. A scientist uncovers fossils from a rock along the coast of Rhode Island. We have a lot of fossils in Ohio, so keep your eye out for that. And that's in sedimentary rock. So those fossils, I'm going to go back to here. Those fossils, when the layers and layers build up, little fossils of animals, little fossils of plants, that all gets locked in the layers. So you can kind of tell a lot about the history of what happened. Here is our last type of rock. So there's 3 types. We've done igneous, we've done sedimentary, and now our last one is metamorphic. You need to write this down. After rock forms, it can change into any other type of rock. So I want you to listen to what that says. So after you have a sedimentary rock, it can change. After you have an igneous rock, it can change. Metamorphic rock forms when existing rock is changed by heat or pressure. The mineral crystals in the rock can change shape or arrange themselves in different patterns. This changes the property of the rock. For example, pressure can change sedimentary rock, limestone, into metamorphic rock, marble, a much harder rock. So the big thing I want you to pay attention to is, so here you have sedimentary, seafloor sediment, and it turns into limestone, so it's build up, build up. This is a sedimentary rock, limestone. But if you have high pressure and high heat, it will change all the properties in this limestone and it will become a new rock, marble. So metamorphic rocks are those rocks that are changed by heat or pressure. That's what you need to write down. Marble in this quarry in Carrara, Italy is prized for its sculptures, for its even white color. So this is marble. Marble is used in a lot of building materials. A lot of floors are made out of marble. And that is a metamorphic rock made from a sedimentary rock with heat or pressure or both. Here's some more. Every kind of igneous or sedimentary rock can change by heat or pressure into a certain kind of metamorphic rock. For example, sandstone is a kind of sedimentary rock. Heat and pressure can change sandstone into quartzite. Quartzite is much harder and smoother than sandstone. Sometimes pressure causes mineral grains to arrange themselves into layers, a lot like sheets of paper stacked on top of the other. The metamorphic rock slate is made up of layers that can be easily split apart. So here's some metamorphic rocks. You took like mud and that turned into a sedimentary rock called shale. And you got high heat, high pressure, and that forms slate. Chalkboards back in the olden times were made out of slate. Then you have another sand, which layers and layers is a sedimentary rock. Sandstone, high heat and high pressure, turns into quartzite. Isn't that pretty? So those are your three kinds of rocks. Let's just review and make sure you have all three in your science notebook, and you're going to have to let me know that you wrote these down. The first one is igneous rock, and igneous rock is from molten rock that was liquid, and it either cools fast, like lava rock, and turns into an igneous rock, or it cools slowly, like granite, and eventually it'll come towards the top. So that's igneous. Sedimentary is layers and layers, and after a long time, long time, it will form into a rock that hardens, and that's a sedimentary rock. It's layers and layers. And the last one is, fossils. Remember that. Fossils are in sediment because all those layers, animals die and then a layer forms, plants die, a layer forms. So that's where you'll find all your fossils. And the final one is metamorphic. And that takes an igneous or sedimentary rock, and with heat and pressure, it will change into a whole new material, a whole new rock. So metamorphic. All right, thank you for working so hard. I miss all of you, and we will continue with this later.